I don't think I'm gonna be able to make this movie. Should I give it a try? What's up everyone, this is Drizzy Motion and today we are going to be discussing about the things that I have learned when I was making my first short film. I'm not a professional filmmaker, but I believe that these things will be very much beneficial for you if you're also jumping into this industry and you're making your first film. So without wasting any time, let's get started. If you're at the beginner level, then I would say that you should be more focusing on the story rather than thinking about the expensive gears and the materials. Because if your story is good, then you can create an amazing product by using even a smartphone. And the next thing that you need to understand how exactly you need to write the story. What are the different essential materials that has to be there so as to make the story interesting, how you can create a character for your film, how to set the goal for that character so as to make the story move forward. I'll put down the links in the description box of the videos and the blogs that I found very much essential when I was making my first short film. And one more important point that you need to keep in your mind when you're writing down your story, that what exactly is going to be the length of your film. If you're working on a 1 minute project, then it will be completely different from a story of a 90 minutes of duration, because in a 90 minutes movie you get a hell lot of amount of time so as to build up the character and to show the background and the different stuff. But it will be completely different in a short movie. You have a very limited amount of time, so you need to work accordingly and you need to show the different stuff of the character on the basis of that. So keep in your mind what is going to be the duration of your film and work accordingly. This is again one of the most important factors that has to be considered at the time of pre-production, because having a strong storyboard is gonna save a hell lot of amount of time at the time of shoot. Because at the time of my first short film, I wasn't having a very clear storyboard at the time of shoot. I had to visualize the things again and again so as to make a perfect shot. It was very difficult for me to manage the camera and the character at the same time at the right position. So having a strong storyboard is something like you're having a good amount of pictures of your movie in your hand and you can put the things at the right positions in the right way so as to get your complete good shot. So give yourself a good amount of time to make a strong storyboard at the time of pre-production so that you will not struggle at the time of shooting. So this is one of the most important thing that I would like to focus on my video, that most of the people, specifically the beginners, have this type of thinking that only by having a good camera they'll be able to make some better stuff like as a video or a film. And even this is absolutely right if you're the beginner, because at the initial time we don't have the right knowledge that has to be there, that whether it is required or not. Even I had this type of thinking when I was making my first short film, that by just having a good camera I'll be able to make a good stuff. But that's not the case, man. You can grab anything that you want that is accessible to you, whether it's a smartphone or the cheapest camera or any type of DSLR. So it's just that you need to understand the different elements that are required so as to make a movie as a great stuff. A movie requires a hell lot of things like the story, actors, lights, audio, and you will understand the things by putting your time and efforts. And it cannot be learned in a hour, in a week, in a month, in a year. It's a continuous process and you need to put your time and effort so as to be a good filmmaker. I use Sony Alpha 6000 so as to make my first movie, and even at this time I'm using the same camera. This camera is absolutely an amazing one, and if you are thinking to buy a Sony Alpha 6000, the only problem that I found in this camera was a problematic one, as that it's not having the audio jack, and I found a little bit problematic, but that's not the problem if you're having a separate audio recorder. I'll put down the links in the description box for my first short film and also the different articles and the videos that you need to watch so as to understand that which camera can be the best suitable one for you. So this is the other most important thing that I learned from my first short film, that how to manage and how to experiment with the different lighting setups. I do understand at the beginner level when we don't have the access to the highly expensive lighting setups, and when we get frustrated with the product and with the results that we get in our films. So it is completely okay. It's just that you need to experiment with the different setups, with the different situations, because lighting is something which is completely dependent on the location and the sets that you are using. So keep on experimenting with the stuffs and gradually you will get the results. and you'll get your hands on with that thing. Even the people who do have the access to the highly expensive setups, they also struggle with the different lighting situations because they need to set up and they need to arrange the things according to the desired product. So just don't worry about it, keep on practicing the things and you'll be able to master that thing. I used LED bulbs in my first film so as to get the results because that was the only thing to which I had the access. And there are lots of tutorials available on YouTube that you can watch, that how you can use the available resources in a certain way that can give you the best results. Because there are some techniques that you need to understand so as to put the light in the right way that can give you the best result. Another important factor that you can consider while making your first film is that try to revolve around the things to which you have the access. Like suppose if you are writing a very big story which involves lots of actors and lots of different locations, definitely it will be very much difficult for you to understand and to manipulate with those things. So try to use the minimal available resources to which you have the access, and that will also test your creativity. Suppose you're having an access to only one single room, then try to revolve with your story and with your actors to that room only. Otherwise you'll find yourself in a big trouble, and that will again give you a demotivation because you will not be able to accomplish with the things. When I was making my first film, I had the access to only one room, and I was making my film and I was making my story according to that only. And the second story on which I'm working right now is going to be on the basis of the available resources, because that will just give you the motivation that yes, you can do the things and you will be able to arrange the things according to that only. You gotta be open to criticism, man, because in this industry you will receive a hell lot of criticism on the basis of the projects that you'll be making. So try to focus on the things in which you are involved and keep on learning different things and push yourself to the next level so as to improvise in your work. I do understand the point that sometimes feedback can be very discouraging and can be very heartbreaking. It is because of the fact that people don't see the things the way you are seeing them. I remember when I was making my first short film, and when I told my friends about the things that I was involved in, they were like, "Oh! Oh, beautiful!" I do understand the point that my first short film is not that great, but I've learned a hell lot of things that cannot be learned in any other way. And I'll not be repeating the same mistakes that I have learned from my first film in the next upcoming project. And if you want to get a better picture of this thing, then do one more thing. Just check out the best YouTube channels of filmmaking that you know and check out their first videos that they have made. And you will get to know that their first video wasn't that great, and it takes time to get better in the filmmaking and to get better in anything. And last but not the least, it is absolutely okay to make the mistakes in the first film, and don't be afraid to make one. So just try again, fail and fail better. Okay, so that's it in this video. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like the video, like it. If you dislike the video, dislike it. If you want to leave a comment for a video suggestion, then go for it. And if you want to check my other YouTube channel, then do it. And if you want to subscribe my channel, then I'll leave that up to you.